I've never been to Ireland. I don't think a lot of people in our team have been to Ireland, so it's a cool experience to be able to go overseas and play in Ireland and kind of see it for a couple of days.
Hello and welcome to year 3 of our Wildcat Weekly Player Spotlight, brought to you in partnership from our friends over at Riverbank Brewing in Council Grove and in partnership with Wildcat NIL. If you haven't been to Riverbank Brewing before, please go check it out. It's a historic building that the owners put a lot of sweat equity into rebuilding into what is a tremendous venue a few years ago. And for as cool as the venue is, the drinks are even better. They brew their beer in-house with several different options on tap. Try the Thrill Hills, a light, crisp beer currently available for just $5. Another favorite of mine, especially this time of year, is the Rio Salado, a sea salt and lime-infused Mexican lager. Lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you about my personal go-to as well as many of my friends, the Cowboy Lemonade, which features whiskey mixed with the hand-squeezed lemonade Riverbank makes in-house. I can't begin to tell you how good it really is. And if you're a vodka drinker, they've got the Granny's Lemonade, which features vodka with that same hand squeezed lemonade that Riverbank brews and makes in-house. Riverbank's located along Main Street in historic Council Grove, open Wednesday and Thursdays from 4 to 10 p.m. and Friday and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. You've heard about our watch party through Holiday Distillery in Weston for the game on August 23rd, but if you're not headed there, would highly encourage you to go check out Riverbank and watch the Cats take on Iowa State at the brewery. They're also going to have live music on hand from Ken England and Hunter Spicer on the evening of August 23rd. And Riverbank has several TVs inside and outside on their huge, beautiful covered patio that overlooks the Neosho River and the Riverwalk. Go to riverbankbrewing.com for more information and support a great local business that year in and year out supports K-State student athletes. And also got to give a shout out to Wildcat NIL. Remind folks, go to catsnil.com. Check them out. Still, you can sign up for the membership program and find ways to support K-State student athletes like our guest here today, which is K-State offensive tackle John Pastore. John, thanks so much for jumping on with us.
Of course, thank you guys for having me.
Well, how are you? How are you feeling physically after the grind of fall camp and as we approach the season opener against Iowa State?
I'm feeling really good. Our coach has been taking great care of us. Every year they're trying to improve our camp to make our bodies feel as fresh as they can throughout camp. So I'm feeling really good.
How's the off season gone for you specifically?
It was a big off season for me, missing the end of last season and most of spring ball. So it was a pretty big summer and camp for me this year. And and it's been great. I mean, just grinding every day, trying to get back to where I was before I got injured.
And we're going to talk about that here in just a couple of minutes, John, because I know that's a big thing as well. But before we get into the present state, let's jump maybe in the time machine, go back a few years ago and help our listeners get to know you a little bit better. You're from Erie, Colorado. What can you tell us about Erie as well as your family and upbringing?
Yeah, Erie, when it's a smaller little suburb of Denver. Grew up there. Lived there my whole life. Um, my parents were both athletic backgrounds. My dad played soccer and basketball. My mom did track. And I have an older brother and a younger brother, so I've always just been around sports my whole life. My older brother played football, baseball, basketball. I played all of them when I was younger, and so did my younger brother. And then obviously went to high schools. Didn't stick to baseball, wasn't really my forte, wasn't too good at it. So I kind of just stuck to football because I was always just the big kid. I was just bigger than everybody. Um, so that just kind of stuck with me, and I played football and basketball in high school, and then football just kind of took off for me.
All right, you got to tell me about this, John, because I was looking at your bio. So you blocked 4 field goals as a junior, the most in Colorado in a single season ever. I assume, John, that was you using your height going over the top of the line and elevating to block it versus coming around the edge, because you're what, around 6'7". But tell me, describe the field goals situation there.
Yeah, so it was the year of COVID, so we only had like 6 games that year, and they always get the number wrong. It was 9 field goals in 6 games.
You blocked
So
9?
9 of them, yeah. So what we would do, we had one of our guards was a big kid, and we would just go right next to the long snapper, and he would just kind of bull rush him, yank him, and pull him, and open a little hole, and I would just run, jump, throw my hand up, and I tipped a couple. I got kicked in the stomach a few times, but yeah, it's always a fun little story to talk about.
I mean, I can't even imagine why the opponent was even lining up to kick against you guys, because I'd have to imagine you blocked then like 80% of the PATs or field goals in games. That's
Yeah, it was a good amount. Team started just pulling my legs down. They started to figure it out late in the season, but still blocked a few after that. But they were always hesitant to kick.
Have you pitched the idea to special teams coach Nate Katzer to join the special teams unit and try to get out there and block a kick or two?
I have not. I mean, guys in college little bigger than high school, so I
Yeah,
don't know if I'd be able to get through that anymore.
I got you. So you signed John with K State as part of the 2022 recruiting class. What was your experience with the recruiting process?
It was an awesome experience, you know. I mean, here and everywhere, teams just reaching out, but here specifically, it was just like family. You know, they weren't like bring you here, talk about the past and what they've done in the past. It was all just here's what we are now, here's what we're about, and that's what I loved about this place with Taylor Bratt. I mean, he brought you in, made you feel like it was family here. You know, it wasn't oh we did this in the past or we did that in the past. It was this is us now, this is what our team is, and this is what we're about, and that's why I loved it.
What were maybe some of the other top contenders for you when you were going through the recruiting process? So if it wasn't K State, John, who maybe would have been the school of choice or top contender for you?
I It was probably a second close between CSU and Nebraska. Those were probably my other two that if I didn't go here, I would have gone to one of those two.
Yep. Yep. Now you're heading into year 4 at K State. Last year you saw action on 114 offensive snaps, career high 28 versus Tulane in game 2 of the season. You mentioned it, like you've dealt with some injuries in the past while here, and I'm not asking you to disclose specifics around that, but just how challenging has that been having to deal with that during your time at Kansas State?
It's been pretty challenging, you know, just being injured for parts of the year and just trying to fight it and battle through it to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And it just kind of sucks being still being out there on the field, but also hurting because you know it's not the best version of you. So that's just something like mentally that was pretty challenging for me.
Do you feel like you're close to back where you felt before the injuries?
Oh yeah, I feel 1,000 times better than I did before the injury and still just getting stronger every day.
Now you play right and left tackle, right, John? You played both.
Yep.
Where is there a spot you feel more comfortable, left or right?
Um, I mean, just naturally a little more comfortable at left because that's what I played in high school and then my first couple years here. But now that I've played both of them so much, I feel pretty comfortable at either of them.
For our listeners, maybe it's getting a little more nuanced, but and maybe this is probably a pretty simple answer, but what are some of the biggest differences as far as technique when it comes to playing right versus left tackle?
Yeah, I mean, it's just flipping it is the most challenging part because you're either, and if you're in a left tackle stance, you're more like left leg dominant. You're going to be pushing in the run game with that foot or opening up with your right foot. And then when you switch to right tackle, you got to flip it all. So you're going to be pushing with your left to pass set and your right, or you're going to be opening up with your left in the run game. So it's just kind of flipping which legs you're loading and using in either side.
Yep. Look, longtime offensive line coach Connor Riley left for the Dallas Cowboys this offseason. You have a new O line coach and Brian Lepak, someone you're familiar with as he transitions from tight ends coach. But we know Coach Lepak's background was offensive line before starting coaching tight ends. How's the transition gone from Coach Riley to Coach Lepak?
It's been good. I mean, it's just a different personality, really. I mean, and I'm sure you guys know how Coach Riley was compared to Coach Lepak, but it's a different face. But they're both great coaches, and the transition has been pretty easy, to be honest. It's the same stuff, just a different head in the room.
Yeah. What are some unique characteristics about Coach Lepak compared to Coach Riley?
Coach the Pack's more of a goofball, I would say. Like Coach Riley was just hard nosed. Dude, he was just hard nosed guy, but LePack, he's a funnier. I wouldn't say funnier, but he's just a goofier guy. I mean, his background's a little different than Coach Riley. I mean, LePack was a lawyer. I mean, he's done so many different things, musical background, so he's just a little more goofy to us, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. One more coaching question specifically, and I don't want you to get into the details here for obvious reasons, but what is something maybe fans can expect that's different in a Matt Wells offense than what we saw in prior seasons?
I mean, just different variety, I would say, without getting into it, between Connor and Matt, they just have a little different styles of how they like to play, but it's still going to be K-State football, run the ball, pass when needed. But I mean, Wells just has different ideas and things he likes compared to Coach Riley.
What's been an area of focus for you individually to work on and maybe improve the most this offseason?
I mean, just a little bit of everything, getting back into it because I just haven't played football in so long. Um, just kind of working a little bit of everything, whether it's my feet, my hands, but mainly probably just hands would be my biggest thing right now is just using them again and just getting comfortable in my body again.
Full transparency for our listeners, we're recording this on August 14th, so this answer could likely be different if it was a few days later. But I'm curious, John, how much time have you guys spent as we sit here today preparing for Iowa State?
Yeah, I mean, since we've had an extended camp because we don't start school till later and we've been going, I mean, we've been doing the normal camp for however many days, and we've been sprinkling in Iowa State here and there for roughly 5, 6 practices, but now it's pretty much fully in and we're getting the game plan together.
Have you watched any film yet on Iowa State?
Yeah, we've watched a good amount of film on them so far. We started incorporating that probably a week ago, just sprinkling it in, and now we're been heavy on Iowa State.
What are some challenges that 3-3-5 defense John Heacock has there present to you guys offensively?
Yeah, I mean it's a unique defense for sure. I mean, you don't see a lot of it much in the Big 12 anymore with 3-3-5, but just how they play it makes it so unique with all the front structures they bring and how they play with their linebackers and bring the safeties onto the fit. Just challenging on how to scheme it up, to be honest. But we've seen it time in and again with our own defense, so it's not new that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine with you guys having practiced it and went up against it for several years now with Joe Clanderman and that unit. Few more, John, and we're going to get you out of here. This fall camp, I imagine it feels a little bit different this year, opening up a week earlier than usual, doing against a Big 12 opponent.
Yeah, it's more. I mean, the normal start of camp is the normal start of camp, but as we've gotten into it, it's a little different just because we have that extra time. And then you're obviously going against a Big 12 opponent. So it's a little more intense, I would say, than other camps I've been a part of.
I know this is mostly a business trip for you guys and you're focused on the game and getting out there with a win, but what's something you're most looking forward to about Ireland outside of the game itself?
I mean, just traveling there. I've never been to Ireland. I don't think a lot of people in our team have been to Ireland, so it's a cool experience to be able to go overseas and play in Ireland and kind of see it for a couple of days. But that's probably the coolest thing is just being able to go over there and play an international football game.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool. A lot of eyes are going to be on this game. Who are some young guys standing out on the offensive line? How impressed have you been with maybe some of the new guys as well, like JB Nelson, Terrence Enos that have come in?
Yeah, I mean, JB and Terrence have been great. They fit right into our culture here from day one. The summer they came in like down to earth guys, and they've been fitting in great. We've all been mending really well, and they're both tremendous players. And then we got a bunch of young guys that have been stepping up, taking a good amount of reps this camp that have been doing good. Like Gus has been playing pretty good. Kyle's been stepping up a little bit at the center position. um, Obviously, Liney's not a younger guy, but he's been having a great camp, playing a bunch of different positions. So there's a lot of guys that are doing really well.
How valuable is it to have a guy like Sam Heck back at center too, with the experience that he possesses and kind of keeping you guys intact up front?
It's super valuable. He's played good amount of football these past couple years. He's a super smart player, and he's kind of the glue guy for us. He holds it down up front and gets us all right. So it's super cool and super valuable to have him back.
Who's the toughest guy to block that you've gone up against during your time here, John?
Ever or this year?
I was going to ask you both. So I was going to be my follow up was this year's team, but I'm curious ever during your 3+ years first.
Cool. Ever? I mean, there's a lot of guys. I've gone against Felix, who's obviously a first round draft pick. He's always tough to go against. Khalid Duke was a very good athlete. Brendan Mott. Those guys are all good. And then linebackers, I mean, we've had so many good linebackers of the past and present. I mean, Austin Romain's always a tough one. Daniel Green, he's always a hard player to block. And then obviously this year for the D-line, we have so many DNs that are just going to be studs this year. You got Cheedy, you got Stuff, Ryan Davis, Jordan Allen. I mean, list goes on, and they're all great DNs that are tough to block.
I saw Daniel Green spoke to you guys just the other day, right?
Yep.
I love that Coach Gleidman brings those former guys back to that. Hey, a couple more and we're getting you out of here. What do you do for fun away from football? Like, what are some of your hobbies, John?
I like hanging out with my friends mostly. I mean, go play, spike ball. I was a big spike ball player back in the day. I haven't played much recently, but just because we don't have as much off time as I used to in high school. But just hanging out with friends mainly, watching shows or just anything that the roommates want to do. We just like to get out of the house.
Well, in case your parents are listening, I'll ask you this as well, John. I know you were academic All Big 12 in 2024. I think you're majoring in business administration, right? What do you want to do after football?
I'm not completely sure yet, but I mean, later in life, I want to eventually like own my own business of some sort and whatever that is. But that's mainly what I want to do and be my own boss. Just own a business, I think would be pretty cool.
Yep, definitely. Well, hey, John, we appreciate you jumping on with us and getting to know you a little bit better. We wish you nothing but the best of luck this season. Best of luck August 23rd in Ireland. We're all going to be watching. We're all going to be pulling for you. A reminder, folks, go to riverbankbrewing.com, find out more information about them. Go check them out in Council Grove. Really cool building. Great beer, great drinks to have on hand. And again, go to catsnil.com. Support Wildcat NIL. There's still ways to support. Sign up for the membership program and continue to support K-State student athletes like John Pastore. Appreciate Nick Springer behind the scenes producing the show. Thrilled to have another year back of Wildcat Weekly Player Spotlight, and appreciate John Pastore for kicking off the season for us here as the Cats get ready for a huge matchup in Ireland.